What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Buildit video, and today I have a couple of announcements to make. Those announcements is actually about the Epic project issue that people have been experiencing. So, as many of you guys know, if you watch my channel and if you're subscribed, which you should be, and if you're not, then you should take 2 seconds out of your day, click that subscribe button. It's totally free and it would help me out quite a bit. So, you've hit that subscribe button. Okay, you've leveled up, you've hit level 24, and you don't see Epic projects available on your map. You are completely screwed, you're pissed off, you're ready to break the phone and mail it to EA. Don't blame you. But wait, there's more. They're assholes. Let's just say that. Anyways, point being, they have made it to where they really don't give us an answer to fix any kind of problem that we experience with their lovely game here. Now, Jesus Christ, sorry, I did not want this to be on my screen right now. Anyways, so here's the deal. Thank you, CPT. Blame him for that. Okay, so you have your city, you've leveled up to 24, maybe you are past level 24 and you never even knew that you should have the Epic project available, and now you're kind of like, oh, well, I've never had one, why have I never had one, what's going on? And I'm going to explain what's going on the best that I can from the research that I've done. And this is not research that I just read on the internet. That shit drives me nuts. And there's one thing I've learned about when it comes to getting advice on anything, and that is try the best you can to make sure that there is some credibility behind whatever it is you're regurgitating to somebody else. You know, don't just say, oh, I heard this somewhere, this must be fact. Okay? That's not what I do. Now, if I am telling you something that I don't know to be fact, I'm going to tell you that prior to that. So if something that I've said is not true, then I either was unaware of it because they changed it, or I stated that beforehand. Okay? So, with this particular issue, I have been explaining to people the basics of what you need to have before you can start an Epic project. If you have went through these list of things, okay, follow along with me. You reach level 24. You will get this winged helmet thing here. This is what should happen. Now, this will only appear if you have a regular residential building that's been fully upgraded. If you have ever seen one of these on your map in your city, you are not experiencing the issue that we're talking about here today. What issue we're referring to today is when people have not unlocked this feature at all at any point ever. Okay, so if you're somebody who's been able to do an Epic project, but now you cannot, you just don't have the ability or the option or whatever, there's two main reasons for that. One is that you don't have a fully upgraded regular residential home, and that goes for regional maps as well. If you are looking to do an Epic project on your regional map and you do not have a fully upgraded regular house, it will not allow you to do an Epic project. The next thing is having coverage for that house. The Epic projects only appear in the category in which you have coverage. A little tip real quick, instead of putting everything around that house into storage and then hitting the change button, pick up that house, place it far away from everything else, put whatever category it is you desire next to the home, and then hit change. This eliminates you having to put 97 different buildings in storage just to change one category. Okay, so you have a fully upgraded regular residential home. You have coverage. Why is it not appearing? How long ago was it since you last completed an Epic? That's the next thing you need to look at. There is a cooldown period between capital epics, or at least there used to be. So if you recently did an Epic on your capital map, you can go straight to your regional map and start one immediately. However, if you want to start one on your capital, there is a minor cooldown. It used to be 24 hours, but I think it's been lowered to 12. I'm not 100% sure on that. So if you click on this token tower here, there will be a timer at the very top if there is in fact a cooldown in place. Okay, So you've done all this, you still don't have a winged helmet. You've never seen one, you hit level 24, something is wrong with your game. You've clicked on this here, and you've looked all around, and you've held down on here, and there is no option that says epic points, like most buildings would have. So before level 24, you should not see epic points at all in this menu. You don't unlock this feature of the game until level 24, so the menu just doesn't even allow you to see it. Now, a couple of people were able to fix their game several different ways here. And so after this, what I was looking for was a direct answer that said, okay, you know, this was my problem. This is how it got resolved. And so far, I've had so many different stories as to how it was resolved that I think I might have an answer as to why that is happening. So one guy came to me and he sent me screenshots of his city. I looked all around his map. I saw that he had regular residentials, fully upgraded. I saw that he had plenty of coverage. He was over level 24. He met all the requirements. He had everything done. And yet he still did not have that on his menu. He contacted EA. Same with about 7 other people I spoke to. They have all given their player ID. They all opened up tickets with EA. And EA has basically told them all the basics of you need to have a regular residential home, yada, yada. They all conversed back with EA and said, look, no, that's not what's going on here. This is something definitely more technical. They then said, okay, we will look into this. We'll get back to you. And none of them ever really heard back from EA with anything substantial. So they all came back to me, of course, with looking for an answer. Now, in the meantime, I have been advertising on my channel for people to speed level to level 24 so that they can not take the risk of this happening, at least until we can figure out what's going on. Now, have I resolved it 100%? No. I cannot say that with certainty, but I can tell you that about 8 out of 10, about 80% of the people that were experiencing this issue have been able to get it resolved, and I'm going to explain how that is, okay? So the first couple of people had not clicked on all their notifications. I had asked them, one of the main things that we had looked through were the clipboards and the journals. Now, if you go to your city here and you zoom in, there is a mayor's mansion here. It's got a red building. This is your city accomplishments and things like that. Okay, make sure that you click on your town hall. Now, one girl, she had a bubble sitting on top of her city journal. She clicked it, it directed her to the mountainside, and then all of a sudden she had epic projects available. Now, several people experiencing this issue do not have a notification on this. Several people have went through this whole thing, okay? They've screenshotted it to me. They all have, maybe different ones open or whatever. I even had one guy go all the way up to level 30, okay, and unlock the clipboards there, which I advised him not to do because I knew that that had nothing to do with it. And that what would end up happening now is now he's level 30, and that sucks. So don't do that, okay? You do not need to level up to figure this out. So what can we do to fix your issue? So I decided I was going to start leveling up to level 24 on the walkthrough city. But what happened is I had a family emergency come up. I've had some extreme dental problems going on with my back tooth that I broke, and I've just been super busy. And I haven't been able to get that city charged up and going and all that. So in the last week, I have received messages from several different people saying that all kinds of different things have initiated their epic projects to work. One of those things was somebody had went through and opened up each one of these, and they had got directed to the mountainside, and then all of a sudden their game worked. They don't recall what the notification said, and so again, we're back at square one. But it appeared at that time to be initiated by something that they were doing near the town hall. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking it's just some kind of notification that hasn't been clicked yet. So another guy comes to me and he says, "Hey, Missy, I was able to get it resolved. I went through and I started clicking on just random white bubbles all over my city, and one of them had a entertainment bubble. It was just an opinion bubble with the little entertainment symbol. He clicks it, and then all of a sudden he gets a notification that he can now do an epic project. Why? I don't know, but it worked. Okay. Then I get another message from somebody that they had placed their Santa shop in storage and it had initiated their epics. That person then commented on another person had commented on a post on Facebook that they said that, hey, I placed my Santa shop in and I got my epics to open up. So it appears as though it has nothing to do necessarily with the Santa shop or the town hall or whatever. What's going on is something is initiating the game to say, hey, you can do this now. Why or how or what? I don't know why exactly. But if it were me, if I was the one experiencing this issue, I would go through, I would go to my city journal, I would open it up. Okay. I would maybe even uninstall and reinstall the game, make sure you have it saved. I would try to get the game to kind of initiate some kind of a notification, something going on. That's what's happening. So go through, click on any opinion bubbles. Now, what you can do, and this is what I suggest that everybody does, is look at your categories that you have placed around your map, okay? And this goes for people that are also trying to get a little bit more rare items. If you haven't moved, let's say, parks or entertainment buildings or whatever, if you haven't moved that kind of stuff around your map very much, then your opinion bubbles go down. You want to get the Sims talking, right? Those opinion bubbles give out rares. And the best way to get those Sims talking is to place buildings around and just move things. So, you know, you pick up a park, place it down, move it, pick up, you know, maybe a transportation building, pick it up, place it, move it, you know, move some stuff around, get them yakking, start popping opinion bubbles, start, put some shops, maybe put all your shops in storage, put some out, click on your mountainside, get the game thinking and moving around, because it seems as though whatever's going on has nothing to do with any one thing that anybody's doing. Some people had experienced this and resolved this before the Santa shop was ever even in, you know, in the game this season. So they hadn't even purchased the Santa shop yet, you know, because they're new players. So try to place your sports shop out and put it back. Try to open up, when you actually go to your city journal, click on it and actually open up. Click open, okay? Open this up. Okay, then click, just start clicking stuff. Maybe even place some stuff on your mountainside if you haven't yet. You don't have to, you know, that's not something that you have to do in order to unlock an epic, but just trying to get them talking and moving. And when, if and when it does in fact allow you to open up your epic projects, when it does give you that notification, make sure that you pay very close attention to what it's saying to you. I want to know what it says on your screen when that happens, because that's the one thing that nobody's paid attention to 100%. And I want to have, even if you could do like a screenshot would be the best, to be honest. And then hit me up on Facebook and send it to me. If you're experiencing this issue, you cannot get it resolved and all that, hit me up on Facebook and I will go through some steps and see if we can get this stuff going for you. Okay? The next thing, and this would be, if nothing else worked, one thing that anybody can try, and there's a couple of different reasons you would want to do this, but it gets a little confusing, so pay very close attention. If you have two devices, okay, essentially this is an autosave game, right? But it doesn't autosave every time you make a change. It autosaves every so often, okay? What you can do is you can kind of jumble the game up and force a save, if that makes sense. So what I'm telling you guys to do is to take two devices, okay? load your city up on the same city up on 2 devices. Open up both cities. Have them both opened up on your lap. Okay? Make some changes. Do whatever you got to do. And then all of a sudden you'll get a notification on the opposite device saying, would you like to continue playing locally? Or would you like to load from server? Okay? Load from the server. This, hopefully, maybe it'll sync your data a little bit and jumpstart it into acting right. Maybe. What this means is, and for those of you who are kind of confused about how save data works, and that was the other thing I wanted to talk about to you guys. So here's the thing. You can play this game offline or online, right? Now, what the game does is it saves locally to your device, and it also uploads your save to the main SimCity server. So typically, what would happen here is the game would save your progress, and then the moment that you become active online again, it uploads your current save to the server and overwrites whatever it was. Now, one of the ways that people were kind of duping items back in the day is they would take 2 tablets, they would sell items, right, to a bunch of people in their group, and then they would leave 2 devices open. They would sell the items so that you would have them in your inventory, and then they would upload their city. They would close it down and just keep playing locally on their main device, meaning that they still had those items in their inventory. They were able to do that without anything happening and it auto-saving to the server because they had that other device open. So you have the items in your inventory, but they were able to keep them in their inventory as well because they uploaded just before the autosave. And they were able to do that because they had 2 devices. Now, here's the thing. Somebody had asked me the other day, how do I know if my city saves? How do I connect city save? How does this work? Okay. Pay very close attention to what I'm about to say to you. So the way that this works is, and from what EA has told me directly, I don't mess with Apple, so I can't speak for the iOS people, okay? It's basically the same general concept of the Android people when it comes to saving through Google. So the way that this works is if you want to be able to travel to your friend's city, you either have to be in the same club as them or you have to be friends with them on Facebook. Okay? So if you do not have your city connected to Facebook, you cannot travel to their city without being in the same group as them. If you recently friended somebody and you don't see them on your Facebook friends list, if you click on the settings button here and you click log out of Facebook and then log back in with Facebook, it should sync your list to the most current. That doesn't always occur, but it should. Okay, now, somebody asked me, can you have your city saved to multiple Facebooks? Yes, you can. So let's say you forgot the password to your Facebook, okay? And your city's here on your phone and it's already connected to a Facebook. You can make a new Facebook. You have to wait 1 hour from the time that you make from the time you make a Facebook before Facebook allows you to connect any games to the actual Facebook. Once it's been 1 hour since you made the Facebook, what you can do is you have to be logged into that Facebook on the device, and then you'll hit login with Facebook, okay? It'll kind of bring you up to the Facebook screen and it'll log you in. Now, if you've already used that Facebook for SimCity, a different SimCity, you know, like maybe you had it saved to one of your alts or whatever, you cannot overwrite your Facebook save. So let's say that you have an old account, you know, an old city, and you want to use your current Facebook, you can't. You have to make a new Facebook. Now, you've done that, and now you have, let's say I have this city saved to my current Facebook, and I just made a Facebook and I saved my current city. This means that if I go to another device, I can upload this same city, which you know, with whatever Facebooks it is that I sign into. Now, same goes for Google Play. You can have your city saved to Google Play as well. So I have this particular city saved in a couple different locations. I have it on 2 separate Facebooks and 2 Google accounts. So sometimes it's kind of a pain in the ass because I forget which one. One of them was by accident. Okay, so how do you go about having 2 Facebooks on one phone? Well, what'll happen is this. If I was to go and log in on my other Facebook on this phone, the game would play normally for a while, right? And it would continue to save locally. But at some point, I may get a notification and it'll say, would you like to play as so-and-so? And it'll pop up that screen asking me if I want to upload that particular city. If I were to do that, my city would kind of go away on my screen. Their city would appear. I would have to then wipe the app, right? Or initiate that menu to pop up by simply switching Facebooks, hitting log out and hitting log in. So let's say that you wanted to kind of switch back to your other Facebook. Okay, you have your game open and you hit log out of Facebook. You have already made the switch on the actual Facebook app itself, and then you come back to the game and you hit log in with Facebook now that you're on the correct Facebook. That will initiate your most current save. Now, as for Google Play, you can be logged into Google Play and into Facebook at the same time. None of that matters. I just wish they would give us some kind of an account that we can make and maybe give us a certain amount of cities that we can have on that account. That would be really nice. Or allow us to friend each other, you know, in-game or whatever. But as for the Epic project issue, anybody here that's still experiencing that issue, hit me up on Facebook and I will see what I can do to help you. I am going to be doing a stream here in a few minutes so that I can get this part of my city designed, and I will see you guys here in a couple minutes.